Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Naruto Next Generations discussion on the fallout from Boruto Chapter 73, and we got a major Otsutsuki that is literally in the room that we need to discuss, which is Momoshiki manifesting outside of Boruto, and how now that this has happened, Boruto Uzumaki has a major crisis on his hand, because as the old expression goes, what is in the darkness eventually comes out in the light, and Boruto's secret about Momoshiki is no different, and it's no exception to the rule. Ever since then, Momoshiki has begun manifesting in Boruto's presence at an increasing rate, and Boruto has to make a decision. Does he tell them everything that has happened without leaving out details, or does he keep the information to himself? When Boruto first got the karma seal placed onto him, the only people who knew what happened in detail were Boruto and Sasuke initially. Boruto was told by Sasuke that he was the only person who could see what happened because Sasuke had the Rinnegan. He specifically told Boruto, something like this happened again, let him know right away, because it made sense. Sasuke at that moment in time was the only person in the village who had the most knowledge about the Otsutsuki, especially when we consider his exploits in the light novels, where his research into the Otsutsuki led to a conversation with Toneri about more information in regards to the clan, but there was nothing concrete given. We also know from chapter 17 that Sasuke did tell Naruto about the marker, and we know from the Sasuke light novel that Naruto and Sasuke do feel some form of guilt for allowing Boruto to even be in a position where something like that happened to him, with both of them wanting Boruto to get to see high-level shinobi fight, as well as get experience in a high-level battle in which Sasuke viewed as being a controlled setting, but neither of them thought that Boruto would have to leave the battle with something like a karma seal placed onto him. However, this is different right now. Boruto hasn't told anyone about this most recent event with Momoshiki. Naruto knows that Momoshiki revived him from death, as do Shikamaru and Kawaki, but the other members of Team 7, Konohamaru, Sarada, Mitsuki, they don't know about that or the true circumstances that led to Boruto needing to be revived. Now that Kawaki has sensed, or rather seen, Momoshiki outside of Boruto without Boruto even knowing what happened, there's gonna be a need for a major conversation that needs to take place. Boruto is going to have to come clean about everything that's transpired. That brings us to the ramifications of this occurring. As of right now, there are only two people who know the truth about what happened. Sasuke sensed what occurred due to the small amount of Rinnegan chakra still accessible to him, which I explained in detail in another video on what made that possible and why this is different than the flashback panel that you saw in the chapter with Sasuke's Rinnegan being shown. Kawaki knows what happened because he sensed and likely saw Momoshiki outside of Boruto's body. What occurs in the next chapter will be very telling here, because while Sarada and Konohamaru might not catch immediately what did happen, we have two people who are extremely observant when it comes to Boruto. We have Mitsuki and his strange obsession with this little Jogan princess Boruto, who has shown in the past he picks up on when something is wrong with Boruto. Like when he revealed in the manga that he already knew Boruto had a strange mark on his hand, and it was the reason Boruto had been spacing out at times. Then you have Sumire, who's also very in tune with Boruto on a deeper level observation-wise, and has made no secret that just as Hinata played the long game to get Naruto's Uzumaki ramen noodle doodle, Sumire is plotting to get her hands on that Uzumaki secret sauce herself. Both of them are likely going to notice that Boruto is acting strangely, and the setup is there if you look at it. If Kawaki chooses to raise this issue privately to Boruto, which I do think is possible, we'll see Sumire, who also keeps a very close eye on Kawaki, become suspicious, and we'll see Mitsuki, who's already suspicious regarding Boruto, Kawaki, and Code and how that situation came about, and he's gonna become even more suspicious if Kawaki talks to Boruto in private. And given Mitsuki can use those snakes to listen in on the conversation, there's a higher likelihood that he learns the truth. That in of itself opens up another major can of worms, because it opens the door to Mitsuki learning the truth that Kawaki killed Boruto. And we all saw how Mitsuki made it clear he was struggling with bloodlust over what happened to his little Jogan princess. It also puts Sumire in a very tough spot, because she knows the truth about what happened, and she didn't say anything to either member of Team 7 as well. Things get even more suspicious as Sasuke checks in on Boruto before they leave for their mission, and it's very likely that Sasuke does so. He told Boruto keep him informed if anything like this ever happened again, and we've seen Sasuke be briefed behind Boruto's back and from Boruto directly when Momoshiki has popped up. Now that he's sensed things for himself, unless he's waiting to get more intel, Sasuke likely says something to Boruto because he got that deja vu feeling when he sensed what occurred and immediately thought back to when Momoshiki gave Boruto the karma. Sasuke knows they're not in a favorable position when it comes to karma. For all they know, 90% of it came from Amato, and as time goes on, they learn that they're still very ignorant to the effects and the abilities of karma itself. Sasuke pulling Boruto to the side to speak to him, that's the logical route for him to take, but it puts the two captains of the Boruto fan club on high alert, and that lets them know that something is wrong given the timing. Kawaki notices something with Boruto and then Sasuke shows up. They're not idiots. Then you have the opposite route. If Kawaki directly asked Boruto why Momoshiki was just standing there or how long Momoshiki's been manifesting outside of Boruto's body, it's going to force Boruto's hand and all the cards are going to have to be put on the table. This means Boruto is going to have to tell them how when Momoshiki revived him from death, he told him the day he would lose everything was very close at hand. That's going to raise a huge red flag with Shikamaru. He's going to have to tell them that ever since then, he's had multiple instances where Momoshiki has warned him that this coming calamity is close at hand. I think there's something here to suggest this might happen. In the current chapter, Shikamaru refers to Boruto as a bomb brat, as a major security risk to the village. In the chapter prior to this, just before Momoshiki began to show himself to Boruto and revealed that something dire would happen that would make Boruto willingly give up control to Momoshiki, we saw another tidbit of foreshadowing. We saw Hinata's motherly instincts kick in, and that's not to be overlooked. There's something different about the relationship between mother and child that for all the answers science has given us, not even science has been able to crack this code. But it does acknowledge that a mother's intuition about her child, it does exist, and that it's more than just blind luck in terms of feeling, because there are documented cases where a mother is far away from her child but knew right away that her child was in danger. Carrying a whole life inside of them for 9 months, carrying the DNA of their child in their bodies while the brain of the child itself forms. Some scientists say that this is the reason behind a mother's intuition and the sixth sense in regards to their child's well-being. In some cultures, the belief is that when a child is born, the only thing severed between mother and child is the umbilical cord, and that there's a deeper spiritual connection. In one case, a woman woke up screaming her child's name, clutching at her heart 2 minutes after her child was shot and killed, and she called her child's cell phone immediately afterwards, only to learn hours later that her child was killed when leaving work, and the time of death was 2 minutes before she woke up. I say it to say this: Hinata's breakdown could have been more than just her worrying over her son's well-being. She knows he's a ninja. She knows that when he puts on that ninja headband, he's got a risk. And granted, she knows that he did just die and was brought back to life. However, the timing of her having that breakdown moments before Momoshiki dropped that bombshell on Boruto, that's very telling from a narrative perspective. We could be seeing that connection played up in a major way, and this won't be the first time that the Naruto franchise has played up a trope like this in manga format, playing up that close connection, that spiritual connection that two people have towards each other. We've seen it with Tsunade, where the moment that Jiraiya was about to die, she has a moment where she's looking out the window and states that Jiraiya isn't coming back. But then she tries to immediately play it off as she's only thinking about her bet that she made with them, but she has that pain expression on her face, and even Shizune pauses because she knows that Tsunade's hurting and that Tsunade had a premonition. A bond like that between two extremely close friends, potentially friends on the verge of something else if you're one of the people who choose to dig deeper into their relationship. Tsunade's connection and the timing, it really can't be ignored. The same with Naruto in the manga when he sensed Hinata calling out for him right before she was caught in the Infinite Tsukiyomi. Even when you add in the filler scene where Jiraiya's ghost touches Naruto on the shoulder after he dies, or the manga scene where Kurenai gets a feeling that Asuma's in trouble before she learns the truth. We've seen this played up more than once. It's a tried and tested cliche that works, hence why so many different mediums use it repeatedly, because it lands with audiences. If Momoshiki is right and Boruto does get pushed to a point where something like that happens, it's gonna make that Hinata breakdown scene that much more grim to look at in retrospect, especially if Momoshiki takes over Boruto's body and has full access of all of his Rinnegan powers. That's gonna be a real headache to deal with. Boruto telling everyone the truth, or even Shikamaru the truth, that has the potential to change the scope of their mission, because Momoshiki's words were clear. I'm going to take over your body. You're going to give me control of your body, and I'm going to maintain control of your body while you stay locked away in a corner of your mind. While I can't resurrect using your body anymore, this very moment that I see happening will effectively allow me to do the same thing, which opens up the door for a prolonged control of Boruto's body, which is something Shikamaru is going to need to know in order to map out a plan. This has potential to be a good conflict route should something like this happen. My question to you guys is, does Boruto tell the truth about Momoshiki, and if so, how will this change things moving forward? While you think that over, click here to watch my Black Clover chapter 339 review, or click here to watch this Naruto Explained video.